one of the things that I'm thinking a lot about right now, especially as I'm trying to roll out some new products, is this, and it's interesting because maybe other people experience this too. And I certainly experience a little bit of imposter syndrome in my early 20s and just getting started. And now as a business owner, I'm always thinking about, have people on my team, like what's growth look like? And how do I continue to create value for my clients? And I'm getting ready to like roll out some new products. And I have to tell you, some of those feelings are creeping back where I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Is this the right thing to do? And,
Stay away, bad
this is
feelings.
where I turn to my community, and my mentors because it's a little bit scary sometimes. But on the flip side of that, I think it's a sign that I am trying new things. And I'm a really big believer about you have to get out of your comfort zone constantly. You constantly have to be and just put yourself out of your because on the other side of that discomfort is growth. Thank you.
You're listening to Brainwork Framework, a business and marketing podcast brought to you by focus-biz.com.
Welcome back to another episode. With us today is the founder and CEO of Betancourt Group, Angela Betancourt, full-service integrated communications and marketing firm that elevates the stories of individuals, businesses, and organizations making a positive impact. So excited to have you on, Angela. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Absolutely. We always like to ask our guests, tell us about your journey. What were you doing before that led you into what you're doing now?
Yeah, so I've had an extremely nonlinear journey, and I think there's other entrepreneurs out there, I'm sure, that can relate. I have always been in communications and marketing. It's going on 20 plus years at this point, but my career started in hospitality and the hotel industry, and then I worked in-house for PR agencies and for big name brands and all kinds of really cool projects for really big brands that we've all heard of. And my journey really ended up taking me into some interesting places. I've traveled the world because of my work. And ultimately, I spent 2 years living in Sierra Leone during Ebola. And the project that I worked on there really helped shift a lot of things for me when I got back stateside that inspired my master's degree journey, and then also really cementing myself more into the environmental and social impact space. And so it's been an incredible journey so far, and I'm super grateful for all the random and sometimes not so random experiences that led me here.
Tell me more about the work that you're doing now and how you're helping some of your clients.
Yeah, I really wanted to find work that aligns with my personal values and work that feels like I'm trying to make the world a better place. And I really am excited to work with brands and to bring in opportunities for my company that align with environmental impact and social impact, and essentially helping to tell stories of brands that are doing good. There are so many companies and organizations out there that are really trying to make a difference via their services, their products, and I want to help elevate those stories. I want people to become aware that these businesses and brands exist, and I find so much fulfillment in being able to tell those stories.
I love that, and it's really hard for a lot of businesses out there because there's so many great ideas, and what they lack a lot of times it's the PR, the marketing, the communications, knowledge in order to get the word out, right? Like, how do we get business and get sales and tell people about this? So it's always a challenge for them. Are there a lot of commonalities for the struggles of businesses that you typically work with, or what common struggles do you see them having?
Yeah, and I think one of the upsides of technology are all the opportunities that presents itself, but on the flip side, technology also presents way too many opportunities, and I'm constantly finding nonprofits, businesses, entrepreneurs that are like, what platform am I supposed to be on? What's the algorithm doing today? Should I be on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads? I mean, it's endless, the number of options, and that's one commonality that I'm seeing across the board is where should we be putting our attention on the social media space? I guess we're jumping into video now, so what video content should we be doing? And I find this to be true. No matter what these businesses and organizations are doing, this is a common theme that I'm constantly finding.
Absolutely, because it feels like the world of marketing, technology, and just the internet in general is constantly shifting. It used to be every 3 years, then it was 3 months, now it's 3 weeks. And every 3 days, I feel like there's a new platform or somewhere else that we should be getting our news or communicating on.
Absolutely. And we're seeing this shift in the media change as well. So suddenly it's, almost like, should I be on Substack? Should Betancourt Group be on Substack? It's this constant trying to figure out and navigate, where should I be telling? I know I should be telling my story, but where and how and when? And so that's really the challenge that I'm seeing. As a business owner myself, I ask myself those same questions all the time. I feel this big sense of responsibility to be up to date with all of the platforms because people come to me with these questions. And so I'm constantly researching and learning, and I'm on all the platforms trying it out and figuring out what works and what's what. And so, yeah, it's very interesting times right now where technology's great, but the number of options it gives us also a lot of challenges.
Absolutely. Speaking of challenges, there's also opportunities that come with that. And I feel like now the opportunity now, I feel like more people are more connected yet divided. Like people are looking for change and they want to have impact, and they're working with their local community, and a lot of them are having similar issues and problems. How do we put that together to create impact and change? Does it start at the community level? Is it more at the business level? How do we make a better future for all of us that works together?
Absolutely. And to your point, that is one of the good things about technology and all of these different platforms is that sense of community. And I'm hearing this constantly. I've always been a big fan of finding your tribe, building your community, engaging your community. Who are the people that you're in service of, right? Who are you trying to help, and what problems are you trying to solve with your business? And so these platforms help you align and find the people that are also out there trying to address the same challenges. I'm very fortunate and grateful to be able to do a lot of ocean advocacy work. And I just tapped into this incredible global community of people that are passionate about ocean conservation. And I'm finding them on multiple platforms. And I'm learning about where they're telling their stories and how they're bringing people together to address critical things, whether it's through a webinar, or I'm seeing a lot of videos now with people talking about these challenges and inviting people in the community to be part of what they're trying to do. And that's wonderful to see. So, yes, there are so many platforms, but also there are so many opportunities to connect, and there's a lot of opportunity for creative storytelling, which I love, right? You can do video, you can send newsletters, you can really meet people where they are. And that's really key, I think, to drive change and to create that sense of community, is to identify where the attention is for a lot of the people you're trying to reach, and also creating that kind of content that brings them together. And in that, there's a world of opportunity.
Absolutely. And I think something you mentioned is just the storytelling piece about the way that we communicate. It doesn't come easy to everybody. Everyone's just like, buy our stuff, or here's what I got. And it's like, how do we put the pieces and like get the end result? Like we're trying to get a message across, but who's going to care? Why would they care? How do you approach the storytelling framework with the business, or just kind of general communication?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it really comes into understanding who your audience is, right? Storytelling is at the core of communicating your company's mission and vision and values to your ideal audience. And that is first. It's, who are you talking to? Who are you trying to communicate with? Once you know that, then it's much easier to identify the platforms and the formats that are best going to meet that audience. I also want to say that in addition to knowing your audience, you need to respect and value your audience, because at the end of the day, your customers and the people that are watching your content are the ones that are helping to make possible what it is that you do. And so I really like that when brands not only understand their audience, but are creating content and telling stories that really honors who their customer is from a very authentic place, right? You're not trying to pretend to be something that you're not, because consumers know they're going to catch on. And if they don't catch on themselves, someone's going to tweet about it, IG about it, or TikTok about it, and the cat will be out of the bag. And so showing up authentically and respecting your audience for the ultimate value that they're bringing to your business is really key.
Absolutely. And with your experience, like just taking in all the new channels and legacy channels, all these different platforms, has there been one or two places that no matter your business or industry or what you have to say or who Is there like a platform that's kind of good for everybody?
I really like LinkedIn as this kind of anchor platform outside of your own website, which I think is a must, right? I think all things originate in your own, the media that you own, your website. But outside of that, I really like LinkedIn, and it's been incredible to see the transformations happening on LinkedIn. I'm talking daily, weekly changes on LinkedIn. It's incredible to see. And I think there's always been an anchoring on, I believe it's the most trusted B2B platform right now. And so when you factor in those types of things, I think people should have some sort of presence on LinkedIn, especially with all of the incredible advances that they're making right now to bring it into this next era of storytelling and content creation and video. And so it's early stages on LinkedIn and these new changes, and I think it's a great time to start being on there. And then I would say second to that, the platform that would make the most sense is the platform where your audience tends to be the most. And I don't want to overgeneralize, but let's just say, for example, you're targeting a younger audience or a Gen Z audience. TikTok is going to be a good place for you to be on, right? That still is a good platform, but I would also keep an eye out on these very quickly changing trends.
Yes, absolutely. And I wanted to get more into the like the consumer side. Is there a place that consumers can go to find which businesses are doing good work and giving back to the community? Or I guess where should they look on a business website, or what questions should they ask to see what impact that business is doing for their community?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. And I think a couple of places. One, it's good to always go, if you're just in the early stages of understanding what a company is trying to do, a good place is to go to their website, right? And just go to their About Us page or their missions page or their values page. That's a really good kind of starting point. But secondary to that, I would always recommend to check and see what's happening on their socials, what they're posting. Depending on how big the company is, look into those company reports. They're not the most fun to read, but there's a lot of nitty-gritty information with facts and figures that can really show, is this company actually doing all of the things it says it's doing? Are we greenwashing a little bit? What's actually going on? And I find that when a company is doing good, you're going to find people that have been on the receiving end of that good that are going to be vouching for these companies. And that's what you want to look out for, right? If I'm seeing a company that's supposedly doing all of these great things, but there's no one on social media saying, oh my gosh, this company came out to do this tree planting. How amazing. I was there. Here's, the picture of social proof, and you're not finding any of that, right? So I think
sus.
It sounds a little sus. I don't want to be cynical. I think more companies than not are out there doing a good thing. They've set out to do a good thing, and they're out there doing a really good thing. I think that there are other bigger companies that we've heard of that might not be doing the right thing. And so, I always say there's always kind of that social proof on the internet that you can dig around for, to actually validate if indeed these companies are following through. I like to think of companies that are really big on diversity, but then when you go to their teams page, it's kind of like everyone looks the same. Where's the diversity, right? Is this a new thing? Let's check back in 6 months. Is it diverse now? No? What? Right? So I think in time, things do get revealed. And this is the thing about authenticity. It's really hard to fake it for a long time, because eventually, if you're not being authentic about it, someone's going to catch on. Someone's going to call you out. And we've seen that happen and play out in real time. And so when you're showing up authentically as a brand, as a personal brand, as a business, as a company, and you're showing up authentically, you don't risk these problems.
Yes, absolutely. It's much harder to keep up that lie over time, because people will definitely be interested and start digging. And I love what you said. Find the people that the business impacted. Find people who are a testament to the good work that they did, because that is 100% proof. Because it's not uncommon for a large corporation to spend $50 million on a television ad telling you that they donated $1 million. It's like, wow, what impact you could have had you not worried about the perception or the optics of what you were doing and just actually did the work. You could create so many more brand ambassadors and promoters for you if you actually put in the work. Like, spend that $50 million elsewhere, please.
Yes, 100%. It's like, oh my gosh, this could have actually had some real impact, right? You're spot on. You are spot on. And people will call that out because people will see that for what it's worth.
Absolutely. And I think now more than ever, I think there's a big shift. There's a movement going on where people are realizing no one's coming to help me. We have to do this for ourselves. And we as a community need to come together and make something happen. I feel that's being evident throughout businesses that they choose to support, events that they choose to go to, where they're voting with their dollars or how they vote, or just in general, like how do we kind of bring this together as businesses doing good work and the community supporting them and vice versa?
Absolutely. Community is everything, and it's going to continue to be more important, not less important, no matter what technology is doing. Community is still going to be one of the most important things for any business, for any brand, to have your cheerleading squad, to have your people that champion you, that believe in what you're trying to do. That is going to be key, and increasingly so with all of this technology that we have. We're really going to see that those building the communities and connecting authentically with others are going to win.
Absolutely. Now, for our audience and listeners out there, we always like to provide an opportunity for you to share your social links. Where can people find you and connect with you online?
Yeah, so I'm on LinkedIn. You can definitely find me there. You can find me through Angela Betancourt. I think it's like Angela Betancourt 1 or something, but you'll see my picture. I have a scuba diving banner across the top, which is quite fun. So if you see other Angela Betancourts, look for the scuba diving photo so that you can find me there. You can go to groupbetancourt.com and email me there as well. That's a good way to reach me. Really working on Betancourt Group Instagram, pushing that a little bit more and putting some video content on there because, video. So that's Instagram at the Betancourt Group is another great place.
That is fantastic. And we'll have all the links available down in the show notes and the description for everyone to get connected. We have a few more questions, Angela, if you have the time. Wanted to ask you more about what your 2025 is looking like. At the time of recording here, it's June, so we're about halfway through. Do you have new projects or new ideas or new initiatives that you're putting together, or are you just kind of growing and scaling everything that's been working so far?
I am so excited for the second half of 2025. My goodness, there's so much going on. Big ideas that I want to see come to fruition, but also just exciting things that my clients are up to. One of those is the Climate Film Festival. The second annual Climate Film Festival in New York is in September. The inaugural Climate Film Festival was sold out, massive success, incredible event. And so if you're in that area and you're into film, it's climatefilmfestival.com. It's such a great event. And so literally right now we're getting ready for that. That's going to be really exciting. And then of course there's all that Climate Week stuff that's happening in September as well. Betancourt Group is going to be doing about 2 events this fall, so lots of planning around that as well. And then, of course, one of my favorite things ever is Art Basel and Miami Art Week in Miami. So much fun. Very much looking forward to that too. So a lot of really interesting things happening in 2025. I think some people have like slow summers and like chill summers, and my summers are not going to be chill, but I mean that in the best possible way. We're going to be cranking stuff out and we're really excited.
That is wonderful. Now, my next question, I wanted to take a moment just for gratitude and appreciation a little bit to ask you about your mentors or people who have been inspirational to you or helped you along the way, either people you want to shout out or how they helped you in any way.
Yes. Oh my goodness. So many people have helped me along the way and throughout the years. As early as my undergrad internship at the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. Jennifer Haas, shout out. She's still there. She's worked up her way because she's brilliant. Jennifer is one of these people that still calls me about opportunities. She still emails me. She's still inviting me to things. And it just blows my mind because I just think about how fortunate I am. So there's so many people. My mom, shout out. She's wonderful and supports all my crazy ideas because there's a lot since I was young. So props to her. And then I'm in the Air Force Reserves. So fun fact, I'm in the Air Force Reserves, and there's so many people in the Air Force in my unit that give me so much mentorship. And one of these, it's Colonel Bennett. She is a powerhouse of a woman. Mom, pilot, PhD, mechanical engineer, colonel in the Air Force. Like, this woman is incredible. And she said to me not too long ago exactly this thing about ambition. And she said, how do you eat the elephant? One bite at a time. And if you're an ambitious person and there's always an elephant that you're trying to just figure out how to consume this elephant in terms of, these big, massive projects, one bite at a time, one step at a time. And that's going to stay with me for a very long time. And so, yeah, there's just so many incredible people in my life that have helped me get here to where I am and continue to guide me as I move forward with new things.
I love that. We rely a lot on our community and our close friend group and a professional group for some guidance and mentorship along the way. So helpful. Wouldn't be where we are today without them. So again, huge shout out. Absolutely. I want to ask, you have the floor for another couple minutes. Is there anything we haven't talked about or mentioned yet that you'd like to share on whether a piece of advice you might give to yourself or to other entrepreneurs or business owners out there?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think one of the things that I'm thinking a lot about right now, especially as I'm trying to roll out some new products, is this, and it's interesting because maybe other people experience this too, and I certainly experienced a little bit of imposter syndrome in my early 20s and just getting started. And now as a business owner, I'm always thinking about people on my team, like what's growth look like, and how do I continue to create value for my clients? And I'm getting ready to roll out some new products. And I have to tell you, some of those feelings are creeping back where I'm just like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Is this the right thing to do? And, this is where I turn to my community and my mentors because it's a little bit scary sometimes. But on the flip side of that, I think it's a sign that I am trying new things. And I'm a really big believer about you have to get out of your comfort zone constantly because on the other side of that discomfort is growth. And so I remember that all of the time. So as I'm going through this process of these kind of new products and services and offerings and things, I have to remember that on the other side of this is because it's brand new things I've never tried before. And I'm, looking up to people that have done this and they do this in their sleep and they do it so effortlessly and brilliantly and beautifully. And I think about the growth that's going to be on the other side of this discomfort of trying to do something really brand new. And so just a reminder to anyone listening that it's normal, I think, and it's a good sign if you're a little bit nervous, if you have those butterflies in your stomach, if you're questioning like, oh my gosh, is this the right, thing? But if there's still excitement and joy in it, then I say 100% yes. I say keep going. I'm saying this to myself, but I'm also saying it to anyone listening that is going through a similar thing. And we have to push ourselves and continue to create new things in the world.
Absolutely, Angela. I agree 100%. All great advice here. And same for when I'm working with clients. I say those things to them as much as I mean it for myself as well. The imposter syndrome, just feeling uneasy, the growth pattern. We're making short-term sacrifices for longer-term gains. So yeah, we have to tell ourselves that sometimes too. So I love that you shared that.
Yeah, we have to remind ourselves because it's a good sign, actually. It means that we're growing, evolving, we're challenging ourselves. We're in the pursuit of something awesome, and that is everything. I think that's extremely important.
I love that. Angela, thank you for coming on and sharing your wisdom, tips, and tricks with us. All those interested can get connected with Angela down below in the links in the show notes description there. Angela, keep up the great work. Thank you for everything you've done, and wish you all the best in your future endeavors and successes with your new product launches here. Very exciting.
Thank you. And likewise to you. Thank you for having these conversations and for creating space for people to talk about all of these important topics. And thank you. I really appreciate it.
Oh, same here. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate it. Love all around. Thank you. Well, thank you, Angela. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.